So, as you can see, I got my teeth fixed. I got them back. It was actually yesterday. I know I posted the videos today, but it actually was yesterday that I went and had all my teeth, took them in and had them fixed. I dropped them off at 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and I got them back about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. My dentist did tell me that it wasn't my fault, that it was a defect in the actual tooth when it was manufactured, and that's what caused it. But long story short, I was minding my own business, eating, took a bite, and I heard a pop, and I didn't realize what had happened because my plate didn't come loose. So I didn't think anything about it, and I was chewing, and I was like, apple's got kind of a tough spot in it. And I realized then that, that was odd. So I spit out what I had in my mouth and realized there's this little chunk of white stuff. And I said, I wonder what that is. And as I was sitting there, I realized that like something sharp was catching the edge of my lip. So I ran my tongue over the edge, and sure shit, I had cracked the corner out of that tooth. So I took them yesterday morning to my dentures, and they sent them off to the lab. And I got them back yesterday afternoon, free of charge. And they told me that they replaced 3 teeth total, because I checked the rest of them on my upper plate to make sure that none of the rest of them had any flaws or anything like that in it that would cause them to flake or, or chip or whatever like that. And they ended up replacing 3 of them. So he assured me that the rest of them were fine, and that if I had any further problems to call them and let them know. So he did give me a few tips to help, I guess, to ensure, that, to know what to look for, I guess, so that I could check my bottom plate. And what he told me is to take like a small pin light or a small beamed flashlight in a dark room and shine it on the back of the tooth and look from the front, because there's more of the tooth showing on the front than there is behind. So shine it from the back towards the front, and he said if there's a flaw in it, it'll glow. It will show brighter than the rest of the tooth. And now, I did that last night. I didn't see any glowing. I didn't see anything that looked abnormal or whatever, looked different or whatever on my bottom teeth. However, I am going to take them in one day next week and have them checked just to make sure. But he said, that those teeth are kind of, they're mass produced and flaws happen. But, he said that, that's why they have warranties. So, but he did say that he was surprised to see how well I'm taking care of my teeth. He said they still look new. There's no buildup on them. There's no, they're very clean. And I gotta be kind of honest. I'm kind of anal about it. I have a little routine that I stick to pretty religiously. So for me, it works out. I will say this. I tried for the first time the other day to sleep with them in. I will say this. It didn't bother me at all. Didn't bother me at all. And the thing of it is like the adhesive was still really rigid. My teeth weren't moving at all when I got ready to go to bed. And I thought, They're really solid right now. I don't want to spend the next 20 minutes trying to get them out. I'm tired. I'll deal with it in the morning. So I brushed them like you would normally brush your teeth. And went to bed. Never even thought anything about it. Got up the next morning, same thing. Brushed just like I would, any other day. And they were still solid as a rock. And I thought, if they're still this solid, I'm not going to mess with it. Like, I had a bunch of stuff to do that day, and that was just one less thing that I had to worry about. I always carry adhesive with me just in case. I always have a little tube of it, in my purse or, so that just in case something happens, I have extra. And I wore them all the next day up until the next evening. Didn't have to reapply my adhesive. Didn't have any issues. Now I'm going to say this. By the time I was ready to go to bed the next day, my bottom plate was pretty loose. Now, it hadn't broke suction, but I could feel it moving around a little bit. It wasn't as solid as it is, first thing in the morning. So, my gums didn't feel sore. They didn't feel different. I didn't have any trouble getting the dentures out. Didn't have any trouble getting them back in the next morning. So, if all else fails, I can, leave them in overnight and they don't give me any issues. Which is a great thing. And honestly, when I woke up the next morning, my jaw wasn't sore. And it's gotten to the point, like, my gums have shrank to the point now that, if I don't have my teeth in at night, like, my jaw collapses pretty far and it makes my ear hurt on the right side. Which, according to my dentist, is nothing normal. He said what happens is that when you don't have your teeth in, it allows your jaw to come up further, which forces this jaw, the edge of the bone, to fold back further. And he said what it does is it compresses the ear canal or whatever. And he said it, causes it to be sore. So, and he actually told me that, if I was comfortable with it, that I could leave them in. He said I would recommend taking them out every other day at least and clean underneath them and, give them a good once over and a soak for a couple hours at least. And he said, but I know people that, he goes, I have people, clients that they leave theirs in all the time. He said, there's nothing wrong with that. So, that's something I may consider. Now somebody said something to me, in reference to the, secure review that I did. I did contact them and let them know. I sent them to link to the review. I sent them, my critique of it as far as is concerned. And I did get a response back from them by email. The customer service person or whoever that responded said that he did watch the video, and that he was very impressed, and that they really appreciated the honest critique, and that should I choose to try their product again, that to contact them, and they would be more than happy to to let me try the pads or whatever to see if maybe they worked better. He did say that one of the reasons for the kind of vinegary pickle taste, I guess, is because their product is pretty much, it's very, very, very few chemicals. It's more of a natural type product. And having said that, it bears the flavor of some of their additives, and believe it or not, as we all know, vinegar is a good preservative. So I'm only gonna, I mean, he didn't allude to that, but I'm only gonna guess that that's what he meant about, natural preservative-ish, type stuff. Um, so it may actually be vinegar that you taste, but, now I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna try, again at some point. I will, just not now. But I am, here in the next week or so, gonna do an actual video showing what I use, how I use it, when I use it, all that, because to be honest, from day one, I've pretty much used the same stuff, barring the, issue that I've discussed before about the whole sticky, slimy crap, trying to get it out. I'm super, 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 super satisfied with the way it holds. I've had my teeth in since 7:30 this morning, and it is now 1 a.m. the next day, and they're still solid as a rock. So, I mean, I have no complaints. So, I am going to show you guys what I use, how I use it, when I use it, all that stuff. I don't know when for sure. Probably going to be Tuesday-ish next week. Other than that, I've been doing very well, and, really enjoying the fact that after, the freak out and everything, to know that, I can call and they didn't hesitate 1 second to tell me, bring them in, we'll look at it. If we can't fix it here, we'll send it to the lab. And that was great for me. So, other than that, I don't have a whole lot to allow. However, I did want to jump on and give an update and let you guys see that I am no longer sans teeth. That they are back together and pearly white and perfect as usual. So, and there are a couple of videos on YouTube, and I'm not sure, I'd have to find them again, but that show what happens, like if you break a tooth or crack a tooth or whatever in your dentures, it shows how they go about fixing it. It's actually kind of cool. And they can actually replace teeth in your dentures without having to make a complete denture, which was my fear, is that they were going to have to make an entire new denture, because I wasn't aware that they could replace, just a single tooth or whatever out of the denture. So that was really great for me, because I was pretty much crushed at that point. So, I mean, all in all, it ended up very well, and I was very satisfied with the way that they treated me, and, the speed at which they got things done. Yes, it did mean going, the majority of that day without my teeth, because I don't know, some people can and some people can't, and I'm not one of the people that can. I cannot wear, like, my uppers without my bottoms, or my bottoms without my uppers. I can't do it. It just drives me absolutely nuts. So, because I didn't have my uppers, I didn't have any of them in, until I left to go to go pick them up, and I put my lowers in before I left the house. And that was the most bizarre feeling, driving across town with, half my teeth in. I felt weird. But, all in all, it ended up very well. So, just a food for thought. If you have an issue, or you chip a tooth, or something happens, that one tooth can be replaced. They can be fixed actually pretty easily from what the dentist told me. So, you know, don't sweat it. Just, you know, call your denturist or your dentist, wherever you got your dentures, and explain to them what's going on. 9 times out of 10, if they don't have a lab on site, they can usually have it done same day. If not by the next day. So, I mean, you know, long story short, I mean, a train wreck of an issue turned out to be a pretty simple fix. So, until I see you guys again, always remember, it doesn't matter where you at, where you're from, what kind of day you're having. Keep smiling, guys. Whether you have, you know, the smile that, you know, goes in a dish at the end of the night or the one the good Lord gave you, it doesn't matter. It's the emotion that goes behind it. So always put your best foot forward and remember that smiles are contagious, guys. And until later, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Guys, I almost forgot. If you like the videos, throw me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. There'll be a box floating around here somewhere. Click it, subscribe. I wanted to say thank you guys too for the huge views on my last couple of videos. The subs are going up, which means somebody out there likes these videos. So I really appreciate the love and the support, and it's great to see that these videos are helping somebody. So again, if you want to throw me a like, hit subscribe. Thanks, guys.